Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. The topic of this 10-minute moan is absolutely disgusting. This is a story about a judge who gave a very lenient sentence to a man who had been involved in two, that word that I can't say that rhymes with grape, cases on a girl who was 13 at the time where she was drugged and then abused. And the reason was given because he was active in his local mosque. This is incredible. This was something I picked up on Twitter through Generic, the Tory guy, who had tweeted about this. And I had to go and look into it. So he tweeted yesterday or the day before about the headline bit with the mosque reference and why this guy had been given a lenient sentence. And it turns out that the court, the judge, had handed this sentence out in January. But it was appealed through leniency, and that appeal was upheld, where they've agreed it was lenient. And the case itself is harrowing. I'll cover some of the victims' court evidence. It's just harrowing. And to think this man here, reduced his sentence. And one of the things he said was because he was active in his mosque. That allowed him to get a smaller sentence of 6.5 years. And there's another strange thing about the sentencing, which I'll come to as well. He sentenced three men in the same day for this crime, because there was a load of them. There was a gang. And the one that got the lowest sentence was the only one that was there. The other two brothers got higher sentences. But they weren't even at court. Do you know why? They had absconded and their whereabouts was unknown. Some people suggesting they were abroad. So what's happened here is the three people that he'd sentenced that day, the only one that could actually go to jail, because he was the only one there, got the lowest sentence, and it was reduced on the grounds that he was changed his character and was active in his local mosque. And it's just disgusting. How many two-tier examples do we need before it's accepted as true? So Robert Generic, he had put out a tweet which said, at Bradford Crown Court, Judge Nadim handed down a sentence of 6.5 years for a man who drugged a 13-year-old girl and her twice. Yes, you read that right. Yesterday, the Court of Appeal found that these sentences were more than unduly lenient. They were significantly so. This is damning insight and indictment of Judge Nadim's flawed approach to sentencing in this case, which reduced one of the rapist's sentences ostensibly because he is now very, very different and involved with his local mosque. It is deeply troubling that these three offenders were part of a wider group tried for similar abuse, but the statutory window for referring the other 5 sentences under the unduly lenient sentence scheme had now expired. This means justice delayed became justice denied. This case should mark a turning point. Serious concerns must now be raised about the consistency and adequacy of sentencing across the gang's trials as a whole. Now, he also included a post that he'd put out from January when the initial case was being heard. And it says, he quotes from this is from the victims' court evidence. A queue of men waited their turn to her. Bradford Court answers 6 years, out in licensing 4. The victim said she was plied with drugs and alcohol to numb the abuse. Given evidence at the trial, she recalled one instance where men had been queuing up in a corridor in a flat to have sex with her. She said she was groomed, then passed on to other men, and later became addicted to alcohol and drugs, which she used as a coping mechanism. Nothing in the world can ever fix the damage I've been through. Because of them, I lost my identity. Hussein of Mornington Street was jailed for 6.5 years for 2 counts of to be served concurrently. So you get 2 sentences and they run at the same time. So it's not as if, if he'd have done it once, he could have got 6 years, and if he'd done it twice, it doesn't It doesn't matter. He gave the girl heroin and had sex with her on 2 occasions, Judge Nadim told the hearing. So Judge Nadim, first of all, doesn't really see the seriousness of this, right? He's given a guy a sentence that would have him out in 4 years. But it just begs, why would the fact that he is attached to his local mosque have any relevance whatsoever? And why should it have any relevance whatsoever in somebody's sentence? If that's even a consideration, it proves beyond a shadow of doubt that we have a 2-tier judiciary. And I think because of the seriousness of this, that Judge Nadim must be looked at very, very seriously by those who decide who are judges and who lets judges sit on what particular cases. Because if you're found to have any preference for anybody just purely because on a particular religion that they may or may not be involved in, then that should ban you from being in court hearing about cases with people who are of that religion. That's just common sense. But I'll guarantee you that won't happen because too many people don't care. This young girl's life was ruined and a judge gave the guy a lenient sentence, and a court of appeal agrees with common sense and agrees that he was too lenient. But to base that on the fact that a guy went to his local mosque is just ridiculous, and this has got to change. So if you want others to see this video, click the thumbs up button, put some comments below and smash the share button for me please. Because this will not get a big viewing because of the stuff I'm talking about. It'll need to get shared for this video to be seen. So please help me here. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and notifications button. But most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person that drugs and does this to 13-year-old girls, or the type of judge that wants to cut back at all for any reason, to be honest with you, for this type of crime, know you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.